Hey, Inspired Tribe, how's it going? Welcome to the Inspired live stream here on the Inspired channel. It is Monday, snowy Monday, February 15th, 2021. We're excited that you're all here with us. Remember, folks, let me just adjust this real quick. Remember, we're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, and we're free. And we're having a blast being with you all. Thanks for tuning in, Black Sky. I see Rohit. Some people are already discussing things. Can you believe it that it's mid-February? This is, I think, live stream number 134 or 135, which means we're close to a year of doing this. And we started out with daily live streams. We're down to 3 times a week, but we're enjoying this so much, and we are expanding. We're welcoming everyone in the tribe. Thank you for tuning in. To all the new people that have joined us recently, to all your beautiful emails and all your beautiful messages and comments and shares. And we're just
donations.
Yeah, we got PayPal donations. And for those of you who are using the super chat here and supporting us that way, for those who are joining our courses, for those who are joining our membership calls, for those who are shopping in our merch store, thank you so much. And we're so excited that you're all here. Hey, Elaine, how's it going? Please, as soon as you tune in, hit the like button and then let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know your name. Let us know what country or continent you're tuning in from. We're so excited to usually over the span of a live stream, we'll have pretty much every continent. Sometimes people from middle of the night, Australia, tune in. One of our founding tribe members, Rohit, is frequently tuning in from India and all other beautiful corners of the planet. We welcome you all. We're so excited that you're here with us. We'll jump into a very, very interesting topic today. Something that has pretty much been an observational quest, not just observational, but something that we've been looking at, observing, researching, and we have been on this quest ourselves. And basically, it is about humanity finding this perfect system, finding this thing that allows for so many things that humanity wants. And we've been diving into this now for decades, and collaborating with people and researching and reading books and exploring the history of this planet of humanity, looking for this almost holy grail, if you will. And it includes so many aspects that we're going to cover, and we're also going to dive into the solution, what it is, and it's been discovered, it's been found. And so that's what we're going to dive into today for today's topic. We hope you all had a wonderful weekend. We are a little snowed in, not really a lot of snow, but a lot of sleet here in Tennessee, and we're kind of enjoying it. So let's dive into it. Let's talk a little bit about it, because this literally concerns us all. It's something that we're all looking for. And this is why we're usually drawn to people that this is almost a pattern that you can find. A lot of times you'll find this quest in people that have been very successful in business, have had tremendous success with innovation, with new products. And what you will see after a while of starting one business after the other and after the other, they all, or a lot of them, arrive at the same point. This inner desire to find a better system to live together, this inner desire to find something that will allow, for humanity and the whole planet to thrive in the future without the current challenges that we are facing. And this is where we're always attracted to. This is where we get drawn in, because this is our life mission, our life purpose. And as soon as we discovered what this is really about, it was not just eye-opening, but completely life-changing. And I want to talk a little bit about what that might be, and what people are looking for, what governments are looking for, what researchers are looking for, what scientists are looking for. And certain groups on this planet dedicate almost unlimited funds to finding it. And it's almost a little ironic when you hear what the solution is. So what is this? What is this system? For one, it's a system that will allow us to basically cover all our human basic needs, right? We have a need for clean and healthy and nutritious and healing foods. We all have that. We have a need for a healthy, clean, nutritious, pure water. We have a need and desire for free energy. So basically, energy that is provided from a source that doesn't require first the destruction of certain aspects of the planet to then turn this into a new form of energy for us. So we're looking for that. We're looking for free energy. We're looking for systems that are self-preserving, self-repairing, self-rejuvenating. So basically autonomously run, where you have little to no maintenance, and these systems pretty much run themselves, and systems that are also resilient and constantly expanding. And what does that mean? Basically, as humans, we keep looking for this holy grail, for this golden ticket, where we can live and thrive without having to constantly put in so much effort to make things work. So we're looking for systems that are pretty much running themselves and that are, basically innovating themselves and expanding in and of themselves. And so right now, very much of that effort is dedicated to technology and dedicated to artificial intelligence and dedicated to those fields. But the interesting part is, and I'm asking you this, if we can find such a system, if we can find it, if we can prove that it exists, if we can make it visible, feelable, and tangible to everyone, would you be interested in exploring that? Would you be interested in becoming a real part of it? Would you be interested in really understanding it and then living within such a system? Because it's interesting how far we've come on this quest. And I'm really asking everyone here in the live chat, I'd be interested. Are you guys interested in such a system that fulfills all of our needs when it comes to food, when it comes to water, when it comes to energy, when it comes to low maintenance, when it comes to all of that? So I'm seeing Illy says a hell yeah. Who else is in? So Rohit says no, he wouldn't be in. Okay. Well, I'm going to let you guys answer and move a little forward. Elaine says Nikola Tesla discovered free energy. Yes, that is true. So I'll let you guys just chime in here. I'm really interested. Agnieszka said yes. So what if I told you that a system like this has existed and has been around us for as long as humans can remember? What if I told you that there is such a thing and that it's perfect, that it's completely independent, holistic in its design, and it works 24/7, and it is absolutely flawless in design? What if I told you that we have been looking in all the wrong places and ignored what is right in front of us? We have literally missed the forest for the trees. Because this system that provides all of it, and that has been so perfectly designed, and that gives us everything we need, and that is perfect in terms of constantly rejuvenating and expanding itself, and completely autonomous in its function. The system is called nature. It is all around us. It's always been here. It precedes us, and it would function without us completely. It does function without us. It functions even though we're constantly interfering with it. It functions even though we're constantly messing with it. It functions even though we're constantly trying to manage it and constantly trying to manipulate it in not very positive ways. And this is where people a lot of times kind of you lose their attention when you say this is nature. Why? Because we within our society, we were brought up in the belief that nature is flawed, and in the belief that there are so many mistakes in nature that we as humans kind of need to balance out. And that's why some people are born with sickness, and some areas in the world are almost inhabitable, and we need to redesign crops, and we need to we need to uproot rivers, and we need to build dams, and we need to dry out lakes, and all those stuff that humans do across the planet. But the truth is, for those who have really studied, for those who really go into the depths of how nature works, they will see that we have forgotten about this perfect system. We've forgotten how to live in harmony with it. And let me go into one of the most important areas. Let me go into food. Nature, it isn't just food that is nutritious that nature provides for us. If you really eat natural foods, these foods don't just have the ability to nurture you, which allows for your cells to reproduce and rejuvenate, but these foods also have the ability to heal you, and we have forgotten about these properties. Real gardeners who've been studying this are understanding how to grow foods that are actually independently designed to heal them without going into any genetic manipulation. Did you know that if you take before you put your tomato seeds in the ground, that if you take them and put them in your mouth and put them underneath your tongue, and if you let them be there for maybe a minute in your saliva, and then if you later, after you put them in the ground, after you have covered them with dirt, if you every now and then, before they sprout and come out, if you walk in your bare feet on that soil, and if some of your toxins that are coming through your feet are introduced to the seeds, that these seeds collect your information, and that these seeds have the ability to then produce a fruit or a vegetable that has healing properties according to your specific needs, because you've given it the information that your body has. Whatever is lacking, whatever is needed for perfect health and healing, is then produced within that vegetable or that fruit. This sounds like science fiction, but it's not science fiction at all. It is just knowledge and wisdom that we have completely lost. It's something that we have forgotten, and we want to be part of this beautiful revival movement that revives a new and at the same time old and wise understanding for this perfect system, because we truly believe that the future is a new, harmonious, and natural relationship with nature. We really believe that the perfect system was already built, that what we deem to be mistakes because people are born with illness or people move into illness is a product of our lifestyle, is a product of us turning away from nature. And hence we are experiencing all these flaws, if you will, these illnesses. And the healing is the return to a natural and really authentic, harmonious relationship with nature. And one of the things that has been always very puzzling to me is that we were turned off and turned away from nature because people, and in our history classes and throughout our education, we've learned that farming and growing foods is such a tough job, and it's there's so much manual labor that goes into it, and so much physical investment that goes into it, that it has been an advancement for us to build industrial farms and turn people off farming. And this is probably true for the past few hundred years, where more and more of how to work with land has been forgotten in our cultures and has been purposely pulled out of it. But when we go into more ancient understanding of nature, you will see that in older times, people were not just capable, but had an understanding for how little input it requires from us humans, and how much of it is already taken care of if we allow it to be, and if we design it in the way that it was meant to be designed. And this is probably the most important topic that we could ever speak about, because all of the other things, all of the other realizations, all of the other wisdom and importance, and all of those things come into play, and you begin to understand, you begin to remember, you begin to awaken these things within you when you reestablish this natural relationship. And there is, it has been said in many religious texts and in scripture and other religious texts that every being on this planet has a perfect purpose. Now, just the other day, we were talking about it with our son Noah, and he said, that we don't know about pretty much 1% of the inhabitants of the seas. So 1% of the living beings in our oceans we know about. 99% we don't know about. We haven't discovered them because they live in the depths of the ocean. We don't know about it. So there's so much that we don't know. So we have a very, very narrow and limited view of nature, and we build our understanding of nature based on that narrow view. And then I think we go about it completely the wrong way, because basically what science does, it first kills a living being to then understand how it lives, which it can be the proper way. It can't be that we can only understand ourselves and other living beings if we first kill them, to then cut them open and then try to understand how life works. It can't be that way. Life cannot be discovered through destruction. It can only be discovered through creation. It can only be discovered through understanding, through real observation. And thank you so much for your contribution, Alma. Thank you so much for your generous contribution. We really appreciate it. And another thing about nature is that if you compare it, just take one block somewhere in a neighborhood, one block, maybe 10 houses. They're built on a solid foundation. There's a road, there's driveways, there's mailboxes, there's all those things. And look at that block and imagine what happens to it if for 1 year nothing is done. No maintenance, no landscaping, no nothing. It's just left to its own devices. And then imagine what happens after 5 years. And then imagine what happens after 10 years. After 10 years, I believe we won't see much of those houses anymore. They will be covered in nature. They will be covered in plants. They will be covered in trees. They will be covered in everything, because nature is a perfect, always healing, always replenishing system. And I don't think it's on us to for all of us to go out and live out in the country and do that. But I believe we can bring the natural processes back to our current living situations. For example, one of our favorite projects throughout the world that we have observed and helped building is urban gardening, where instead of having this huge rooftop space where you put just furniture, people start putting raised beds up there, and they start using their balcony spaces for raised beds, and they start repurposing public spaces and public parks to edible foods, edible plants, and they begin to purposefully, consciously plant different trees, different seeds for different reasons, and they come together as communities and they renaturalize their living space. It's a part of cleaning up, because wherever you plant trees, wherever you create gardens, wherever you co-create with nature, you begin a cleansing process, and it a little balances off for the pollution and destruction on the other side that we do. And the more time you spend in these natural spaces, the more your natural understanding for life reappears. And it is interesting, because when you do the same processes over and over again, and over the years begin adjusting just a little bit, like Kristin has been planting certain plants for years now and preparing them over the winter and then into the spring, and has been adjusting a little bit of the process every year, putting a little more wisdom to it, creating a change, allowing for certain weeds to grow rather than to pull them out. and just observing what is happening and how the fruit changes, how the vegetable changes, how the amount changes, how those things change, and how certain things simply don't work because they weren't designed that way. For example, you won't go out in nature and find 1,000 acres with just one plant in them. It doesn't work that way. What we call monocultures, where we go and have thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of just one crop. Nature doesn't work that way, and we have all these problems because we are misunderstanding how it works and putting our ego will into nature and saying, no, we're gonna subdue you. We're gonna tell you how you have to work. But in nature, crops don't just coexist, and different plants don't just coexist. They thrive with each other. And certain plants you will find in nature are always in proximity to each other because they have to give to each other. They communicate with each other. They nurture each other. And then you come to the animal kingdom, which we are now only using as a source of food. We pretty much, especially in our Western cultures, we have no idea of what the true meaning and purpose of animals is. And if you go back into the wisest cultures that we can look back to, then you will find that every single animal really has a purpose, and their main purpose is to help humans. And they do it with such joy and pleasure. Have you ever seen, and this is an example that everyone can kind of relate to. Have you ever seen a service dog, how much the dog thrives on helping its human in fulfilling certain tasks, and how much it enjoys the fact that it is needed and can help and can fulfill a purpose? And we have forgotten about all these things, and we have moved away from these understandings, and now we're going into technology. And the quest is real, because what we're looking for, we must have a reason why we're looking for these things. Why are we looking for such systems? Why are we searching for that? Why do we want free energy? Where does the idea come from? Why do we look for healthy, clean foods? And even though we go about it the wrong way right now, why are we looking for it is the more important question. What inside of us? Where does this quest come from? It comes from a cell memory. We have a cell memory, or a DNA memory, if you will, that stems back to the origins. And within that memory, and within the memory of the whole field, there is this wisdom of how it really works is stored there. So look at all the devices that we're inventing. What are they mirroring? They're mirroring an ability and a function that we can actually find in nature. I believe there's nothing in the world of technology that you cannot find in nature in a way more perfect and way more holistic and way more abundant way. And if you look at where we are at phones right now, and communication and FaceTiming and real-time video calls and all of that stuff, and what we're doing here, we believe this is a very simple reproduction of something that actually occurs in nature. We've just forgotten of how to do it in nature, so we're doing it through technology. So it's not about bashing this technology. It's not about saying all of this is wrong, because it has helped us understand ourselves and our quest better and our needs better. But we're at a point right now where we can make better choices, and we can go and rediscover things, and we can either go and just see a beautiful beach with some salt water, or we can go and see the perfection of that system, and how, if it's left to its own devices, it always perfectly works. It's a perfect system. It truly is a perfect system. And just because we don't understand certain components in it doesn't make it less perfect. It just means we don't have the ability yet to understand that. And so I would love to encourage all of you to, as much as our focus is on technology and how do we bring more technology about that helps us even more in certain ways, we believe that if we put our attention to nature, if we go out into nature, if we begin living in more natural spaces, if we begin building our space of love in nature, that we will rediscover perfect health, that we will rediscover foods and tastes that we haven't had in a long time, that we will rediscover community, that we will rediscover God, the universe, source in a real way, because there's nothing more magical than going out in spring and putting a seed into the ground, and by midsummer having a complete plant ripe with fruits ready for you to eat. What could be more magical? And what could be more effortless? And how can you not see the perfection in a seed that is so small that you can barely see it with your naked eye? And this turns into a garden of love that gives you everything you need, that gives and keeps on giving and keeps on giving. And it is beautiful for the eye, it is beautiful for the ear, it smells good, it tastes so good when you eat it. What could be more perfect and more magical? And what could we ever produce technologically that would come even close to that? And that speaks, and here's the important part: nature communicates with all of the universe naturally, and it receives its information from the depths of the universe and from the depths of your soul and from the rays of the sun and from the raindrop and from the dirt and from the surrounding energy. And then when you do create such a space of love, do you know why people, when their job or their purpose, whatever they're doing in life, requires them to think deep thoughts, when they have big decisions to make, when they have consequential decisions to make, most people retrieve to a natural space, if possible, to a natural space they have created or at least had a hand in creating. It's a very, very interesting thing that people, when they really need to make important choices in their lives, they usually go to a cabin, they go out into the woods, they go into their natural space. People have, maybe a farm or a property somewhere where they go to. But not just that. The prophets, the masters, the teachers of all times, they have one thing in common. Usually their wisdom came right after they have left society, left urban areas, left the cities, left the settlements, left the villages, and have gone into solitude, into nature. What happens in nature? It is something that you can only point to, but you cannot describe it. For people that have lived in cities all their lives, they simply don't understand it because it lacks this flashy, instant entertainment, kind of satisfaction. But there is a deep and gentle unfolding, and it is a pull into a greater pool of wisdom than you've ever experienced. And it only happens when you immerse yourself. There's nothing more peaceful and soul expanding than sitting at a body of water, or walking through a beautiful forest, or climbing a mountain, or being on water, maybe being in a little boat on a lake or on the ocean. These things are not just good for the soul, but they bring us perspective again, and we begin to thrive again. We begin to rebalance again. And so the point being is that you will hear the world tell you how amazing the future is based on the technology that they project we will have. And we dare to say that it's quite the opposite. We believe the future is grand because we will by far exceed the potential of technology. We will by far expand into much greater depths of understanding if we go into nature and if we use less technology. I believe we will become better communicators. I believe we will become more peaceful. I believe we will thrive in all areas of our lives. I believe we will become stronger. I believe we will rediscover abilities. And what little technology we will in the distant future still use will be we'll be just that, a little technology that we use, not more, not less. And some of the things that we have discovered might benefit us long into the future. Other things we believe will become obsolete because we will rediscover ourselves. And we believe that the revolution of the next months and years is that it's a natural revolution. It's a revolution of the spirit, a revolution of the mind, and it will only happen when we rediscover the most perfect system that has been around and does everything that it does perfectly on its own without our interference. Weather functions perfectly without our interference. Growth, everything that you could possibly imagine, how the planet spins and where it moves in its orbit, and how it correlates to other planets, all of those things work perfectly without our interference. And I believe if we begin, and there's communities around the planet that are beginning to understand that in deeper ways than ever before, and in the right ways too, that if we begin or expand on that movement, we will not just get a greater understanding of nature, we will eventually create new worlds. And this is what, if you look at what Abraham has been saying, the power that creates worlds. Do you think that's just a phrase? Do you think that's just a way of giving you a metaphor for how powerful you are? No, but it's not technology in the strict sense of the word. It is real and authentic natural biology that creates new worlds. And when we understand and live in harmony with this planet here, our abilities to create new worlds, create new worlds will be unleashed, and the whole universe will thrive in ways we haven't seen in a very, very long time. Let me see what you guys are saying in the comments.
Many beautiful comments.
Any questions? Anything we have to? So, as a encouragement for the next day, something interesting to maybe research, look up. Number one, and we will say this, probably we will talk about this till the end of all days. Read the Ringing Cedar books by Vladimir Megre. They're in the description. Most powerful books, probably in our view. 10 of the most powerful books ever written. A journey that you will never ever come home from that journey. You will keep walking and keep expanding. And when you think you've arrived at a destination, you'll reread a book and just keep on expanding. And this has been our shift moment. And not that we haven't had a beautiful relationship with nature before, but not nearly as powerful as it is now. And a deeper understanding that just keeps becoming deeper and deeper as we expand. So that the Ringing Cedar books, please do yourself, if this is an investment that will prove to be more lucrative than any stock, than any cryptocurrency, will prove to be more lucrative than anything else you've ever invested in your life. Let me tell you that I can tell you. I can't tell you which stocks to buy today to make a 20% profit over the next year, but I can tell you this is the best return of investment you'll ever get, the Ringing Cedar books. So that's the one thing. And the other thing is, over the next days, maybe put your feelers out. Look into communication between humans and animals. Look into communication between human and plants. People that are really naturally communicating with plants and plants with them. Look into the healing properties of plants. And it's about natural healing properties, not genetically modified stuff. Go in and begin diving into these topics. You will see it's such a beautiful world to explore. So maybe this is not what you expected of today's live stream, and we believe some people will say, I do believe technology is the future, and that's fine. With everything that we've seen and experienced, we believe we're just beginning to remember what powerful creators we are and how we co-create with this beautiful nature all around us. So, Inspired Tribe, thank you for tuning in with us today. We will be back on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Central Standard, right here on the Inspired channel. Thank you again for your contributions. Thank you for shopping in the merch store. I can tell you this, you've probably seen this hoodie a few times by now, but this is by far my favorite hoodie, Freedom. Beautiful design by Kristin. You can check it out in the merch store. And also, please begin. I put a pin on that comment, so it's on the top of the live chat. Please follow us on Telegram. We're beginning to build up there too, or on that app too, and it's pretty easy to use and fun to use. And please go on there if you don't have it yet. Maybe it's a cool app to download. Check it out. Lots and lots of interesting channels, but of course, most importantly, the Inspired channel is on there. So please follow us on Telegram as well. Again, the link is on top of that live chat. And if you have any questions, suggestions, comments, send us an email. Check out our website, and we'll see you again on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Central Standard, right here on the Inspired channel. We love you. See you soon.